Hey guys, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn Modern Day Mod here today on the channel. We're going to be starting a brand new campaign series here today as Turkey. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. We're going to be starting in the 2000 date, and the main objective of this series is to rebuild the Ottoman Empire as best we can. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of neighbouring countries we can look to take over, and we're sort of right near as well the upcoming and future modern conflicts in and around the Middle East as we load on in. Alright, so Turkey 2000, our economy's kind of shocking. We're currently in a coalition government, pro-Western. I think we'll switch to nationalism and we'll bring in the TAF, the Turkish Armed Forces. That's what I think I want to do. So we currently have a decent amount of divisions. A lot of tanks though, wow. We've actually got quite a large army, considering how early this is in 2000, like comparing to Australia. Jeez. So we've got Greece next to us. Now, I would like to bring that under our control. Obviously, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Jordan was a part of the Ottoman Empire at some point. So we'll try and bring them in to our control. But we are using as well, of course, the Turkey sub-mod, which is compatible to Millennium Dawn at the moment. But check this out. This is crazy how big this focus tree is. Oh my god, we've got the Rona stuff there. 2023 missions. Hilarious. So we can go a bunch of ways here. We can bring in Erdogan. And we also can flip back and forth as well, because we are going to struggle to build the Ottoman Empire if we do stay in NATO and don't go with essentially global interventionism and neo-imperialism. So we might have to go back and forth to this Turkey tech tree. But I'll try go after Greece. It just depends if they stay in NATO, whatever happens. I am using alternative focuses, so hopefully we have a wacky and wild Hoi4 campaign. Dude, there's so much stuff here in this tech tree, which we're not going to be able to get all to, but we're going to be able to do a decent chunk of it as well. Definitely want to go into the Balkans as well and bring it back under Turkic Ottoman control. I could go with the House of Ottoman, but I think we'll bring in the Turkish Armed Forces. That's what I'm thinking. So, religion, Sunni. Our economy's stagnated. We need to change that. Oh my god, systemic corruption. We definitely need to reduce that. That's quite high compared to the Australia and American series, and to be fair, the Germany series. So we've got a couple of factions here. The military, the industry, and the religious sect as well. We've got extensive policing. I would like to upgrade the welfare and healthcare. We're currently mixed economy as well. Mandatory service, which is interesting. That's good. Volunteer for women. We're currently in regional interventionism. We'll try and get that to global. And there's a bunch of Turkish defense companies as well. My god, look at all the decisions. We've got the Grand Assembly of Turkey, where we can pass through war emergency bills. Oh my god, we've got the guards here as well. Turkish politics. Oh my god, this is crazy. The mafias? I never really thought of the Turkish mafia before. I guess that's a thing. Obviously the infamous Italian one, but yeah. Yeah, I guess Turkey has their own mafias as well. It's kind of cool. I've got a bunch of other eventual decisions. We want to try and get into the EU. We can leave NATO in whenever we want, which we might have to. I don't know. We'll see how we go. And we can recognize some other stuff if we want to. We got some CT operations that we can initiate. It's probably not a bad idea. And we've got some Kurdish stuff. Dilemmas that we're going to have to deal with as well. The Turkey Central Bank. Oh, right, because we can connect it to the EU if we want to. I imagine it's like decentralized the the Turkish lira to the EU. Okay. And we've got some missions in North Cyprus as well. Yeah, because we probably want to try and unify the country with our direct involvement. We might do a similar sort of thing in the Armenian, Azerbaijani region. We'll try and sort of imprint ourselves over there. But yeah, the main objective, just trying to take as much former Turkish territory as we can. Let's make Turkey great again. Let's bring back Ottoman dominance to the region. Alright, so we've got the HK here. We can try and get... Oh my god. That 2025 rifle looks sick. So, I would like to research that, but... Oh my god, some of our equipment is stuck in the bloody 60s and 70s. Jeez. We're going to need to really gain military and civilian factories if we're going to sort of rebuild our economy. My god. We might be better off just to conquer them. Because we are in a pretty bad recession. Economically in the 2000s, Turkey's a little bit shocking. 400 days as well. Oh, it looks like they've extended the time for this in this submod. Never played the Turkish submod before. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I didn't realize by days. Yeah, so maybe we're better to go down genetic engineering. As much as I would like that rifle, it's going to take 200 days. We have 11 military factories. So we'll just try and get one of everything to start things off. But at the moment, our equipment and logistics is kind of shit. Gonna need to focus on an air force as well, while we get everything else in. We've got a bunch of divisions, so we don't actually need to recruit that many. It's all about maintaining what we have. Okay, we've got 6 dockyards here as well. As long as we maintain a medium-sized navy in and around the Aegean and the Black Sea, we should be the dominant power. We will hold the Strait of Istanbul as well. I wonder if we can turn that off. Like, passage through it and try and stop Greek or Ruski or NATO forces going in between. Like, that might be a good idea. But for this series, yeah, so I kind of just want to rebuild the Ottoman Empire. And we'll try and make Turkey fiercely independent. Look, if we have to go away from the West to build the Ottoman Empire, so be it. Leave NATO and Western outlook. But I also don't want to be controlled and overly influenced by the Kremlin either. So, fierce Turkish independence, I think. But here are some of the units that are quite cool. And we're currently spread throughout Turkey defending. Alright, let's have a look at our navy. So, let's move them to Istanbul. So, 40 ships. That's quite large. So, I'd love to try and claim some of these small Aegean islands as well. The more islands we can get, the more natural gas resources and hydrocarbon resources we can get. Like, I wish we just could start building islands in the Aegean, just start spraying down those sand fucking islands with those huge fucking hoses they do in the Spratlys. That's what we want to be doing in this series. But look, I'll try go after Greece, but we'll see how we go. It is going to be quite difficult to go after them. And maybe some of the factions that are really tied to NATO. Like, you never know. Romania. Maybe even Bosnia might actually join NATO or something. Or Bulgaria even. So, there might be a couple of countries that are gonna just be alliance tied that we can't attack, unfortunately. Or otherwise bringing in war with the states, which we don't want. Alright, so I think we need a bunch of civilian factories. That's one to focus on. We'll eventually build fuel silos. We'll get our office sectors up to get us money. And then we'll eventually get some military. But the French are going to give us access to their satellites. Fantastic. Alright, so we currently are making 1 billion. Nice. We've got not a crazy debt. Could be better. Oh god. Our resources are kind of shocking. We've got the USS Cole incident. Got to keep an eye on that. I will be supporting the states as much as we can. Oh, we can buy and sell Bitcoin. Sure. Let's do that. That'll be quite funny. I guess that like becomes a thing in like 2008 when it launches. Welcome to the mod. So here is some additional information. Rah. Yeah, so we need to rush stuff. It's alright. Let's go. The 2000s will be our year. Yeah, so we will be wanting to support the states to level up our units where we can. France wants to invest in Turkey. Nice. And the legacy of the Turkish Republic is about to be complete soon as well. So there's a couple ways you can sort of go with this Turkey. Western, non-aligned, emerging. They all seem to have decent chunks. Hell, even the nationalism stuff as well. Okay, so we probably can get some officer corps in. We'll try get into a war here today, but we'll see how we go. But we're going to try and spread our influence down into Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Kurdistan. We'll try and intervene and maybe join some proxy wars where we can. Bill Clinton wants to give us access to more satellites. Sure. Okay. So unfortunately our infrastructure got attacked. We'll try and find the culprits. So here are some of the national spirits. Yeah, so it is vital to get access to those satellites because they can give you some valuable line of sight and intelligence once you engage other factions. So we could release some territory to Syria or the Kurds if we wanted to, but we're not going to. I was just curious to see if there was any Turkish states we could give back or something. Alright. So, fair few wars going on here. Well, tension is growing. And hopefully we'll be able to send some of our Turkish special forces to gain some valuable experience. So currently the DSP is currently in charge. I'm not incredibly well versed in Turkish politics, but I think like Erdogan is I think a lot of them are independent. Alright, let's quickly change the civilian factory and we'll bring in some officers as well. But yeah, let me know, Turkish followers and subscribers. I'm not well versed in just like overseas politics that much. But yeah, I think a lot of like Turkish I think they changed the title as well, didn't they? You've had a prime minister now, you're president. I'm not really sure. Oh god. But yeah, I think Erdogan was like independent for a bit. So was his predecessor. Then they joined parties and stuff. But it's not going to overly matter too much because we're probably going to be bringing in the armed forces if we want to conquer neighboring countries effectively. Alright, that's been complete. So we're going to continue to move down just to change the constitution, which will gain us some stability. That's quite low at the moment. 29 factories in total. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a buffer here to spend on getting a civilian infrastructure buff. So it is worth doing that, but it does cost a little bit to your GDP. We've still got a stagnated economy, which we will need to change. But we're currently, unfortunately, dealing with a lot of internal strife here. I suppose we'll let him rebuild, because gaining that stability is probably not a bad idea. But just look at all the crazy modifiers. Yeah, we've got the PKK we have to deal with as well. So we'll try and uproot them and stabilize our region, which is going to be easier said than done. Alright, so we can get a new Turkish president if we want. Anything else we can do here? Missions in northern Cyprus. So we can move to intervene, because I think it's independent, or it's like a proxy, or it's like mostly backed by the Turks at the moment. So maybe getting it directly under our control is probably not a bad idea. So Cyprus is down here. So there's a British military base to the south. So we have to look at. So yeah, we can actually overthrow the northern Cypriot government and get that directly under our control. Like, sure, why not? Because then we can use that as a staging ground. We don't need it as a puppet. Yeah, well, let's do that. So let's move the tank divisions, and we'll try and absorb it into the Turkish Republic, I suppose. So let's declare war upon them then. I just hope no one comes in. I wouldn't imagine that anyone would come on the north side. I imagine the south is going to be difficult. So let's just do a small, quick naval invasion to bring it directly under our control. We're going to stage a coup d'etat. Okay. Now, I imagine, saying they're a one-tile country, they probably haven't got much of an armed forces. We'll bring in the huge 40-strong Turkish Navy. We're gonna fly and fang down here with fucking submarines and destroyers and carriers. And then the naval invasion will be quite swift. Dude, we are hemorrhaging political power, oh my god. So it's interesting that they've changed the time scale compared to vanilla Millennium Dawn. So this series might actually go a little bit longer, years-wise. It takes like 200-300 days to like get anything done. Crazy. Alright, the tanks are rolling on in. And they capitulated. so quickly. So we'll take the states and we'll fully bring the territory of northern Cyprus, Famagusta, under our control. We'll bring in maybe martial law eventually if we need to. But now this is NATO territory. Yeah, so they're not guaranteeing their independence. We might need to unite the island. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so the US cancelled their Lend-Lease for our short little war. And we've managed to bring up the world tension slightly as well. We want things to go wild and wacky and crazy. We're focusing on our industry and civilian stuff as well. We're still hemorrhaging political power. Right, new Turkish president. Nice, if we want that. We've also completed DNA fingerprinting, so nothing changed there. Alright, so we can increase salaries. Because there's one piece of tech that we have to rush down here, otherwise potentially the game could break. We do have to be a little bit careful of that. But so far, this mod seems relatively stable, and you can play it, well, up until sort of the real life timelines 2020. Which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's... Oh, 2,000 manpower, yeah, so let's enact that slight little bit of prison reform. And you know what, it's probably not a bad idea to increase our fuel efficiency and capacity. Still slowly but surely chipping away at some of these national focuses now. So we can actually forgive some of the guilty there as well. Will give us more stability, which is desperately needed. And might even gain more support for the DSP. Which in all honesty, we probably want to try and reduce. And bring in... I think the army. I think the army's fine. That was quite fun in the Australian series, bringing in the ADF rather than some whack other nationalist faction. Okay, so... Oh god, we don't want to go to war with the Turkish mafia. So maybe we try and extend some of this amnesty. So let's do that. Because we're trying to stabilize the country. We don't want to fracture it. And it looks like more Turkish liberals have won support. So it looks like the DSP and their coalition is going to grow even more. Yeah, so the MPH is currently 23%, which is quite high. We could bring them in, maybe. We'll see how we go. Actually, I could use the political power. Because we are going to want to flip anyway, so maybe not strengthening the DSP as the play. They're already strong enough. 24% now. Nationalist outlook. Not aligned. Yeah, because I think that's the best play. To bring in the NU C committee. Because that's the army, essentially. Bring it under control. Because we can always switch back if we want. If we have to leave NATO anyway. Once we form the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so we've got the 2001 Turkish economic crash. Yeah, so it's going to take a little while to get the Turkish economy back on track because it's kind of shocking at the moment. Okay, so if we go with this, this should actually bring in the Turkish armed forces. That's what I think I want to do. And we might even go with a nationalist propaganda campaign as well. Because now that we have a little bit better political power, we're still negative, but it's going to cost GDP. So we're going to have to do it earlier than later. Infrastructure-wise, let's go with civic as well. Let's spend that. We do have plenty of money, so we can withstand some of this stuff. The Damascus Spring has just happened, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We can do some crackdowns if we want, but that's fine. We might send some training missions overseas eventually as well. And try and secure our territory having some raids. So we can subsidize Western culture if we want. Just trying to read exactly what I want to do. Yeah, I think we're in a position now to slowly start working towards bringing in the TAF. I think that's what we want to do. Turkish consumer spending. Yeah, let's try and transfer some of the money. Because we want the economy to keep booming. Nice. We've got some experience here that we can spend. We want to be getting really efficient doctrines as well. Dude, our stability is shocking. Our manpower is not the best. So it's going to take a little while before we're a powerhouse here in Asia Minor, I suppose. Dude, we've hit a depression as well. We've gone well down stagnation. Jeez. That's because of the crisis. Dude, they're actually like really role-playing the internal politics in this. Holy shit. It's kind of hilarious. Alright, we'll try and increase some of the salaries. I don't know where and how. We definitely don't have the money for it. What's this? A shell of Soviet past. A ship destined for China. So they basically want us to let it move through the Bosphorus. The Chinese will pay us off 50 million if we let it go through. There's a risk that the hull can capsize and completely block the strait. Oh shit. Well, that means the flow of trade won't be able to go through. So, I suppose we let it go through. Yeah, if China's going to pay us, like, sure, why not? Because at the moment, our economic woes are terrible. Beijing, we've allowed the ship to pass, and it looks like they're going to send that $50 million of credit into our Swift bank account, I suppose. And looks like the EU signed a deal with Turkey. So we've got a little bit of unrest in the north of the province, unfortunately. So we're going to have to crack down on it slightly. Oh, there's the ship as well. Nice. Looks kind of cool. They shut down a political party, alright. Yeah, so the army faction seems to be growing quite a bit, which is good. It's good to see. Okay, so economic withdrawal we'll go with. And we also can increase the effectiveness of the Navy, bringing in another doctrine as well. But we're still currently in a economic depression, unfortunately. Alright, some more political parties have been brought in. George Bush is now currently the President of the States. It's now August 2001. Our economy is shocking. But hopefully we can get it back in the future a little bit. Jeez. Heaps of officer corps here. Nice. So entering 2001's been complete. Let's go down with this, and then we'll go down to the 2001 economic crisis. Jeez, it can't get much worse than this. We'll move out of our economic depression to now a recession. We've still got a bunch of debt that we can pay off, which would really help. We've halved our national debt, which was 500 billion. And we've slightly reduced the corruption as well. If we could do it a bit more, that would be great. Okay, so it's asking if we should stand with America. I think we will. Oh, but we could go with that. Do we want to rattle the nest? No, I think we stand with them. Because they might fabricate something to invade us. You never know. And we'll try and get this to stagnation at least. Okay, we can bring back the economy slightly. Jeez, it's January now, 2002. And we're going with the 2001 economic crisis, which will increase our production and construction speed. Hey, so the US has requested our help. So, it looks like the first initial phases of enduring freedom is about to kick off. And unfortunately, we've had a 2002 Turkish earthquake. So, we want to send an intervention force to the north. So, let's try and find some Turkish SF. Turkish special forces. What do we got here? Alright, let's bring them in. Because I think we're better off sending an infantry unit rather than any mechanized or anything that's really going to rely on fuel up in the north. Alright, let's send them north. And we'll try and get them to help. Add in Afghanistan. They're going to arrive soon. That's been complete as well. And we have a decision to make where we want to go down. So, if you go down this, bring in the AKPs. So this will extend the Erdogan line and his successor. But I don't know how, if we go down this tech tree, are we going to be able to rebuild the Ottoman Empire. We might need to go down the military plot, I think. And then I think the plan is, what we'll do is we'll go nationalist. We'll try and take out as many of the former Ottoman Empire territories as we can, and we'll try and bring it under our control. But unfortunately, some of them might join CSTO, some of them might form their own factions, some of them might be firmly stuck in NATO, but we'll just have to see how we go. But thank you very much for watching the first episode of the Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn Modern Day Mod Turkish series here today. Bit of a slow episode, slowly but surely build things up. Sometimes episode 1 can be that, but I am surprised how sort of realistic and tough this first episode was. Look, I thought we might be able to have a battle or an invasion here and there. We had a small little bit of conflict in Cyprus in the north. Bring it under our control, but no, we've got really bad economic issues which we need to push on past, which is hilariously realistic. So we'll try and rebuild the Turkish economy. Man, they are really hammering us up. I think this is the worst I've ever had my economy. Like, even in the States and the Australian and Germany campaign, I never went into an economic depression or recession this crazily this early on. So stay tuned for episode 2 coming out the exact same time tomorrow, where we should be able to help our American brethren. We've hit the 2000 date, so things are going to start kicking off. Well, our American NATO allies. Brethren? Doesn't really sound right. Our NATO allies. That sounds a bit better. The Turkish Armed Forces. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. Thank you for all the feedback and suggestions on the first episode of this series as well. Really appreciate it. A lot of you wanted me to go down sort of a nationalist outlook path, while some of you wanted me to roleplay as Erdogan and go down that. But I can't see, if we stay in NATO and stay on the Western outlook path, how we're going to be able to conquer all that former Ottoman Empire territory. Now we have sent one division to Afghanistan to help out the Northern Alliance and help out America's mission, which is trying to liberate the Middle East, as it were, in Operation Freedom. So we're mostly operating with G2 Turkish rifles. We also have our own anti-tank equipment, and we've also got anti-air equipment thanks to the Americans. We've got some Stingers. We've landed in Afghanistan in the north, and the first thing we've got attached to our inventory is some classic Stinger missile equipment. That's hilarious. So we'll try and help out the Americans here, and then we'll just try and help them in Operation Freedom. We've got the events happening in Iraq eventually soon as well. So it looks like the Spanish, the Aussies, the Americans, the Italians are here, and we're going to try and help them out. It is 11th of March 2002. We've been slowly but surely building up our construction production capacity. We have 30 factories. We've got a lot of office sectors coming on in just to fix up our financials. However, we have managed to reduce a lot of national debt and a slight bit of our corruption as well. But unfortunately, the economy isn't the greatest. We've been hovering in around an economic depression, recession / stagnation, which is like no growth. So we want to try and boost up the economy where we can. Okay, so we can get some agency in. And have we got a new government? I think we have. We've had a Turkish coup d'etat. Freudian slip there. Oh my god. Why? What's with the image? Why does it look like a meme template image? But anyway, we've got a new government in charge. National unity at 25%. And now this is going to allow us to go down the crucial path of international interventionism and neo-imperialism. Oh, nice. So they've actually changed the focus tree. Damn, man. This Turkish submod is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. So there's even like a nationalist focus tree. So we have lost a bit, but this is purely for the military junta focus tree, essentially the third junta. Okay, so nice. This is where we need to be. So the Turkish army is now firmly in control. So we can still be allied with the states quite firmly. Oh, and here we go. We can actually support them in their invasion. There's even a Mosul event. Nice. And then, oh, by the look of this, we can actually go back. We can lift the ban of parties and switch back if we want. Oh, so we can always do that. So maybe that's what we should do. Leave NATO, build the Ottoman Empire, and once we're done, we'll go back. But yeah, I just don't know how we're going to get Greece, to be fair, if they're firmly in NATO. I think there's some weird rule that there's a discrepancy in the law in NATO that there's no law against NATO states attacking other NATO allies within the alliance. So I guess it could realistically happen. I don't want the AKP to rise, so we'll try and reduce that with no speech. Oh no, he's been taken to hospital. Alright, the wars here is slowing down a little bit. They seem to have taken a air base in North Afghanistan, which is quite crucial, getting air supremacy over the top. But yeah, obviously NATO is a defense alliance. That an attack on one is an attack on all. So if anyone from outside the alliance was to be attacked, that triggers that. Ruskies. Or anyone else. But yeah, there was some, I remember reading some article a while ago that there's this like weird thing, if Turkey was ever to attack Greece, like what would happen? What would they do? Anyway, we'll try and make some progression here with our special forces. And now that the army's in charge, hopefully we can gain more territory for Turkey back. Our war support is growing as well, 53%. Our political power's a bit shit. So we've got 150 billion in the bank, 286 billion in a deficit, which isn't too large. If it blows out to like 500 billion, that can be catastrophic. But look, if you manage it and you play it well, it's nearly not too bad going into a debt here and there. Because there's the thing, is like there's good debt in the world, there's bad debt, credit card debt, bad, mortgage debt, okay, if you can pay it back. Alright. Let's try and form this up slightly better. Because the quicker we can get this done, we're going to be able to allow the US to get access to further parts of their tree. We will try and stay allies with them as much as we can. We don't want to put a target on our back any time soon. Because I'm sure they're not going to be overly impressed for the resurgence of the Ottoman Empire. Nice. We're at stable growth now. We'll try and get it to fast growth eventually. And then economic boom. Looks like the Germans and the Brits want to give us access to their satellite intelligence. And this push here on the far west of the country seems to be the play. If we can try and stretch their front line, the better. Just Afghanistan is so harsh and treacherous from the various mountains and rivers and valleys, along with the inhabitants. But there's also like the roads as well. There's like one highway that like surrounds the country. It's just very easy to choke point and narrow and like quarter off. It's a guerrilla's paradise. Like, it's just so conducive to guerrilla warfare. So I suppose we'll go down the Iraq mission, because we eventually want to go that way anyway. Oh, nice. There seems to be a really strong push here by the Northern Resistance. And we might even be able to surround a unit there if we're lucky. Nice. Sometimes you just need to make the initiative so the AI can help. Now we're getting a really nice push here. Dude, we are really the major power helping out the Afghanis. Nice. Oh, what's this? There's a huge bit of text. We're still making 4 billion though, which is a nice bit of money. Our GDP and debt isn't too crazy. I don't think we need to support them. I think I prefer the political power. I don't think this is attached to that text behind me. Oh god. That's so fucking big it can't even fit on the screen. There's not much we can do, so I guess we accept it. Let's do nothing there. But we're still pretty early in the campaign. Still early days. But so far, we're doing well. Our infantry's not using any fuel. I would rather not levy aircraft to them, even though it'd probably help out. Our production is shocking. We've got to really be quite cautious with our logistics and air force. Dude, to be fair, Turkey's probably in a worse situation at this time period than Australia in the series. At least they weren't getting hammered with multiple financial woes and difficulties and recessions in the early 2000s. Like, geez. That's fine. Oh, so we seem to be in a coalition technically with the DSP, which is weird. Even though we've banned elections, but whatever. Alright, let's bring down some of the debt. Nice, we're going to be able to wipe 100 billion off, which is huge. Rising now to 130. I wish we could track how many men we've lost in volunteers, roughly. No, maybe a K, actually. Because we had about 25. But also, that's a little bit deceiving, as we are also as well recruiting units day by day. But we've managed to make a really solid and decent push here in the west. If they can pincer from the north, that'd be fantastic. But we're only 3 tiles away from Kandahar. And then the Brits in the north are only a little bit away from the capital. Oh, nice. There's a new person in charge. I think the other guy was like a commander or an admiral. I'm not entirely sure. But we've got this new looking bloke. He looks alright. Looks like a Chad. A Turkish Chad. Right. I think we want to try and get the US to build some military bases in Turkey. That'd be good. And once their invasion of Iraq happens, we'll help out and we'll try and pincer them from the north. Thankfully, we're going to be able to get in on it through our tech tree, because in the Australian campaign, we weren't actually able to help straight up. We'll go with excavation here, but we're still relying on industry advancements from the bloody 80s. So hopefully we try and improve that. But so far, tactically, it's taken a little bit of time. It's only taken a full year to try and bring down the government. Oh god, we've got a housing collapse as well. We only just got to stable growth, for fuck's sake. There's a chance that we can go into another stagnation / recession. Voodoo economics. Oh, well, at least we got stagnation, not recession. Dude! We are really getting hammered by the economy. It's going to take years before we get into a strong enough position to actually effectively start conquering countries. Maybe we need to raid our neighbours' national bank here and there. Might be a good idea. They've lost 23k to their 6k. Nice, so we're going to surround them now. Dude. I know already these Turkish special forces are incredibly experienced, but holy shit. They have earned some valuable lessons fighting in and around one of the hardest places to fight. Okay, so we can eventually go down this. The first Junta Congress, okay. Sure, let's go with that. We might need to pivot in the focus tree once the stuff in Kuwait kicks off. Nice, they should be capitulated now. And not aligned, but you would imagine the US is probably going to bring in a new government there. Alrighty. Yeah, so we still can't attack. Oh, we can attack though if the world tension is high enough. Okay. That's because we've changed our government. We haven't gone down neo-imperialism just yet. So we've been successful here today in the invasion of Afghanistan. So far we've taken northern Cyprus under our control. And I imagine the next phase in Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Freedom is probably going to kick off soon. Let's do some more CT events, and we'll try and send some military training missions as well, as we have the spare military experience from there. Nice, but there's not really too much we can do. I could change the flag, but I don't think so. And we're not a part of the EU yet, but we can eventually do so as a part of the tech tree, so we might connect to the EU. Still pretty early days. Did the Eastern Express? That looks sick. Alright, we're back up to stable growth. We can go with some genetic engineering now as well, as we're starting to modernize our production and construction. Yeah, so we've still got a fair few negative modifiers here and there that we have to keep an eye on. So, if we are to help out in Iraq, I think there's I was nearly umming to see if there's actually like a piece of territory that we border them, but I think we can actually go through that point there. Oh, maybe we're not. Maybe we're going to have to sail all the way around to Kuwait, go through the Suez Canal. That would be annoying, but we might have to. Anyway, let's try and bring in some United States military aid to help us out and still cozy up with the Yanks. Alright, so there's even some of these challenge our enemies. So we can surround our media, restart the Cyprus War, a border conflict in Thrace, secure the Aegean Islands, and there's more Kurdish stuff we can do with as well. Alright, that's all something we can keep an eye on. That Armenia one's interesting because we can actually puppet Georgia, but I think we get an annex against them. We'll try and bring this state into our control. However, the states are guaranteeing them, but that shouldn't matter because we're both NATO members, and the US, you would imagine, would drop the guarantee if things were to kick off. So will we join the invasion? We sure as shit will. So, can we... So we can get an annex war goal, which is pretty good in this part of the tech tree, because we can't actually straight up attack them because we don't have neo-imperialism. So, once things actually kick off, we'll change our national focus. So, dude, the Greeks are fucking here. I never fear the Greeks are here. Yeah, so it looks like we can seem to push from the north. Interesting. Nice. So the States has attacked them. Whoops, misclick there. So we will try and do this 70 days. That's going to take ages. The country could fall before that's done. But we will join in on the invasion. As the first initial battles and fights are occurring in Basra. The Poles and Spanish have landed in Kuwait to help out. Just hopefully we can get this done so we can have a claim to some of that northern territory. Dude, if we could get Mosul under our direct control, that'd be awesome. Some of that northern Iraqi territory would be so valuable to us. The Australians have now landed as well. Oh no. The Turkish-US crisis. Unfortunately, some Turks were detained. Huh, I didn't even know about that. I didn't know that was a thing. That's rather quite unfortunate. Oh, it looks like they're being pushed back a little bit here. Oh god. It's ballooned to 20k. As long as they don't fail, I'm okay. But the longer they take, the better. Because it gives us the chance to finish this national focus so we can get the war annex goal. Oh no. A US tank division is being completely surrounded here by 4 or 5 units. There's been another earthquake here. Yeah, it's kind of crazy the geological stuff that happens in and around the Aegean, Turkey and Greece. Both of them are really quite susceptible to earthquakes and wildfires. Oh wow, they're really flooding in there with foreign forces. Well, unfortunately on that note guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching episode 2. We've had the invasion of Afghanistan here today. So we're going to join on in, then we're going to get a war annexation. And we should be able to take some territory in the north. The more we can get directly under our control, the better, so that we can have a claim to the north of the country, which is a part of our national focus if we do want to core it. So if we take Mosul and then integrate the provinces in and around, we can actually core it directly for Turkey. Now we're going to push over the border here, which will be a little bit difficult as it's quite a narrow crossing. There's a very small path there. We'll put the Air Force over the top to operate. Now, it's a little bit buggy in Hoi sometimes. In Hearts of Iron 4, you can't always draw those front lines, so we're going to have to wait to take some territory in the north. But once we gain some more territory, we might look to go after some other neighbouring countries. We might launch an invasion of Syria, or maybe go after the Kurds, potentially. Anyway, we've landed in the north. We've taken Sinjar, our first piece of territory. And we'll draw some front lines as well. Because the more I can take, the more I feel comfortable to claiming and coring this territory. So we can't do this. And yeah, so we need all those provinces. Alright, and first is Mosul mainly. Nice, we've taken that. We've only lost a little bit, you'd imagine. Oh, and they've capitulated. And we've got, we managed to somehow salvage 1 MiG fighter jet. Alright. So, this actually might be an issue. So the Battle of Kirkuk, I guess. Because, and the problem might be the US might not be able to puppet them. We'll see how we go. So we'll take the north for ourselves. 1, 2. Yeah, they're the provinces. I think, no. Anbar is too much. No. I kind of want to take that though. Ramadi. I think we'll just leave it at that. Like any more, we actually can't core it. So we'll just take those 4 provinces in the north. And I could puppet them myself, but I don't think so. We're going to make our own faction and go on our own path, so I don't think it's worth it. So what I'll do is I'll give a bunch of war score. It's probably only costs like 200-300 to puppet it, but I'll make sure I have the majority of it. And then I'll gift it to the US, and then they should be able to subjugate it. In theory. So, hang on. Yeah, give war score. Yeah, so now they've got more than me. And now we're done, and they can do whatever the fuck they want to the country. Nice. Let's end it there. So we took 4 states. Oh, so nothing happened. They pieced on out. Oh, shit. Fuck. And now they're drawing front lines there. And he's still in charge. Shit. So essentially they just made a peace. Well, we got what we wanted. Crap. It's okay. They can always re-attack them, though. Oh, God, I hope that doesn't bug the US and they go on a different path. Yeah, I don't know how else you do it. I think it was because of the play of the peace conference, potentially. Anyway. Let's try and feed into anti-communist organizations, I guess. Is that what that meant? Weird. Anyway, now that we've got some army experience, we can spend some of this. A lot of pop-ups here that we need to get rid of. So, yeah, we need to go down this. Doing the movement. Because then we can get a war justification against them. And that was the other piece of territory that we can core as well. So let's set those up. Move everyone down here. Nice. So, I think we go after the Kurds. Because, as well, they were guaranteed by the US, weren't they? I imagine it's probably going to be the same. However, yeah, I don't know what happens. If one of your allies attacks one of your guarantors, I suppose, what are the US going to do? They're going to have to make a decision. I would imagine they would back down. You'd think. It's going to be interesting to see what they potentially do. But now that we have territory in essentially what would be Mesopotamia, we can push from there along with our home land Anatolian territory. So hopefully we can have a couple more of these sort of wars throughout this series. Yeah, we might actually be able to make plans and preparations to go into Syria if we're lucky. Interesting. The US has revoked our access to their satellite system, so then we can get intelligence on the battlefield of those forces. Yeah, I would imagine that they wouldn't be too happy nor impressed of us going after their Kurdish allies. Still trying to build up our fuel infrastructure. We're going to move to global interventionism now, and then eventually neo-imperialism. The housing bubble has crashed again in Turkey. Dude, our financial woes continue. Oh, wow. As if the war with the Japanese and the Chinese have kicked off this early on. Kind of crazy. But debt-wise, we're doing pretty good. Although we're still financially struggling. Like, we've managed to reduce Turkey's national debt to 0. And we've got 140 billion in the war chest. We can probably go finally get those HK-33s that I've been wanting for a while. Okay, so we can go down neo-imperialism now. Nice. And it's only a little bit of time before we can go after them, so... Yeah, we still can't go after some of these factions just yet. Yeah, we might look to go into Iran, maybe Persia. We'll see how we go. We might need to eventually leave NATO as well. One day, that's complete, so we got the war justification. Nice. Well, let's cross our fingers and hope that we don't go to war with the US. Because they're guaranteeing them. So, we're moving on in. Operation Retake Kurdish lands. And we've got that 1 MiG that we haven't got in. Okay, so our fuel is currently at max. We're pushing in from our newly acquired territories. And in the north as well. Brazil, Pakistan, the Philippines, Bangladesh is giving us some lend-lease. Nice. And we're hammering through our fuel. We've got a About 70% of our fuel left. We haven't lost a single Turkish soldier yet. As we're going to secure and stabilize the region. So it's never overrun by ISIL, I suppose. Anyway, let's take and call the territory. Dude, that was absolutely rapid and swift. My god. And we're eventually going to be able to integrate that. Nice, because we have all the region. Dude, we're going to be able to call that entire chunk of territory. Nice. So it was actually designed national focus wise and encouraged to take that territory in the north there. Nice. Well, let's look for another target potentially and keep on conquering Ottoman lands. We've got 0 manpower, so that's something we're really going to need to change. Hopefully we should be able to get once we integrate this territory. It should significantly increase it, that we can get access to it chord-wise. Looking at all these, we could restart the war. Yeah. So we can gain a war annexation on the south. Maybe we should look into that. Maybe even guaranteeing Georgia as well. I think we leave NATO though. I think that's a good idea. Because we're going to start to need to go against some of these other factions. And, for example, I don't think it was even going to let us like do offensive wars. Because even though we're a nationalist outlook country, we're still in that alliance. It was stopping us. So we're going to integrate Mosul now. And yeah, look, we can actually conquer Syria if we want. So let's start a war justification. And we'll do the same in Bulgaria eventually as well. Because although this Middle Eastern territory is nearby, we might actually be better off going north into the Balkans. Back like the Ottomans did of old. Liberate our fellow Muslims, I suppose. With the population pockets in there. And to be fair, the civilian factories, the infrastructure is going to be a far higher quality than Iraq, which is essentially a fallen state at the moment. Really crippled. So, we'll surround Syria. Now, the only problem is Russia. If the Ruskies help them out. Now, they are guaranteeing them, but with the US, sometimes they back down. However, still, they could supply them with Russian air superiority, which would be an issue. Nice. Well, we've got a little bit of political power now. We've got the money, so let's upgrade the health and welfare capacity in Turkey. Because we're coming up on 300 billion now, which is nice. Okay, so the war justification for Syria is complete. Now, we'll get the Navy to start convoy raiding. If the Ruskies want to try and send supplies through the Black Sea, or if they somehow go around, and we'll war deck them. Looks like Lebanon's going to come with them, okay. But the Turks are now moving into Syria. Now, we've got to be a little bit careful because our manpower is shocking. We might actually need to stop. There's another earthquake. There's literally one earthquake a year. Raqqa's now fallen. Oh, dude, we are just carving up the country. We lost 500, even with limited manpower. We have air supremacy. We've got plenty of fuel. We've got tanks galore. And we're really just bulldozing through. Yeah, our manpower is something we really need to address. And we're getting a bunch of Lend-Leases again. It's always good to accept these. Every little piece of logistics and equipment helps. So we haven't even encountered any enemy naval vessels. And looks like the country will fall. Nice. And we've got a bunch more MiGs we can add as well. Dude, we don't even need to construct fighter jets. We seem to just be able to take our own. And I guess we just satellite Lebanon. Like, we can't even take it for whatever reason. I guess they would just join on in. Yeah, whatever. And now we border in the Levant. We border on Israel, which we're eventually going to have to take as well. But nice. Things are improving. 2004, the economy is looking better. It's always still a little bit shocking because we are playing as Turkey after all. However, we've got zero debt. The army is actually properly actively taking territory. And now we're going to have to bring in a police force, a military governor, and martial law here and there as well. But we've taken a huge chunk of territory. We now sit at 40 total factories, which is fantastic. And we've unlocked the new HK-33 rifle, so we can bring that in. Well, let's do a justification against Bulgaria, because they could potentially continue growing closer to the EU and eventually join NATO, which is an option. So we don't want them to do that. So we're going to have to go into the Balkans, I think. Right, so we've completed this right-hand side. And we'll continue to make our way to potentially switching back to a democracy once we've built the Ottoman Empire again. Like, there's no... Like, why... There shouldn't be no reason why we couldn't rejoin NATO if we wanted to. Let's draw a front line in Bulgaria. And we'll push into this incredibly valuable and fertile territory. Yeah, because there's a lot of smaller, weakened, fractured countries here, like North Macedonia, Yugoslavia, Albania we can maybe try and take. I think technically the Ottomans did have parts of Romania under their control. However, it was mostly vassal states like Wallachia and such. So we might be able to go after Romania. That'll be good, getting the oil in there. However, someone like Hungary, where the Ottomans controlled, we're not going to be able to take without bringing in NATO. So you never know. Some of these territories in the Balkans we just simply might not be able to take because they're firmly secure under the NATO alliance. Yeah, so this... Let's encircle Armenia, because we'll try and get a guarantee for Georgia. That would be a smart idea. Because we're Azerbaijan's, like, firm allies, aren't we? Anyway. So hang on. Israel and Egypt are guaranteeing Bulgaria. What the fuck? Okay. I don't mind Israel that much because I want to take that territory anyway. The only problem is they are guaranteed by the US. Egypt is a little bit tougher because they are quite strong at this point. So maybe what we need to do is divide the army. Shit, I was getting ready to attack them. So we'll get one army group to focus on Bulgaria. Then I guess the rest swings down to there. But you never know. Sometimes they might stay or step down. I don't know. Sometimes it's guaranteeing is basically a roll of the dice in this game. Sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. Nice. Georgia accepted our guarantee of their independence. And Russia is supporting them as well. Okay. Something to keep an eye on. Yeah, we might go to war with Armenia. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Because they might actually take that. I think there's even some pockets in Iran that they might look to take. Potentially, our allies. Okay, so we pushed past economic reform. Let's get some tax law in as well. Dude, we're hemorrhaging cash. Holy shit. That nice war chest we built up. We might actually have to borrow some money. Because last thing I want is to go into a war and have serious debt mounting. We're at a mixed economy. We probably want to look for an export economy so we can get some more money in that front. It's because we buffed the healthcare and welfare apparatus and we've brought in Syria and a couple of other nation states, so they're fully entitled to those elements of the government. But now we've got 1.1 million manpower at our disposal, which is kind of crazy. As we're pushing into 2005 now, we've got a properly built up state. Still increasing our genetic engineering and research, construction, and production capacity. And at the moment, I'm currently building larger fuel silos, because our current fuel consumption is 1.3 million barrels of fuel. Because in this game, it's kind of make or break if you have fuel or not. I didn't realize that you can actually, if you're in a real sticky situation with fuel, like you can import a crazy amount if you need to. So I think it was in my first playthrough, I didn't realize. But I had to rely on fuel imports for a lot of my annexation of those island nations in that Australian series. So we need to build up our potential capacity to hold it, because then we can be in prolonged wars more. We've had a couple of lightning wars here and there, but now that we're going into the Balkans and stuff, we're going to need a large fuel capacity. But thankfully, we've got a lot of neighboring countries, the Saudis, the Ruskies, that can really help us out with that oil. Much appreciated. The Battle of the Balkans is about to begin, and they were called in, so it looks like we're going to war with Israel and Turkey as well. Jeez, that is kind of a crazy conflict. 3 nations against 2 with our Lebanon allies. As Turkey is back again, looking to liberate the Balkans, the old Ottoman occupied territory. But so far, initially, the first conflict in Bulgaria is very much going in favor of the Turks. So we're still continuing down that path. Economy-wise, could be better. We have just under 1 million, and they've capitulated. Oh, shit. And we've got more MiG fighters as well. Well, let's straight up take the territory. We're not going to puppet. We want that all under our control. And then we can look to go into the rest of the Balkans westward. Alright, so let's move everyone back south. Let's reallocate my air force to Syria, and we'll get them to operate and do some drills over the top of the Levant. Now, we do have one stack pushing against them. Oh, and we've actually taken a piece of territory as well. Nice. We also might need to set up some naval invasions, potentially into Israel or Egypt, but we'll just have to see how we go. But we've saved up a bunch of fuel. We've got our air force. Our economy could be better. We did have to lend 100 billion because we are hemorrhaging a little bit of cash at the moment because the economy is just so flippant. And we've had a bunch of earthquakes as well. Every single year there's been a severe one. So let's get a couple of units to act as naval invasions. So 2's enough. A special forces unit accompanied by a tank division. We've got the sneaky and subterfuge of sort of and flexibility of a tactical special forces unit. Then the brute force of a tank dropping on the beach. Okay, so... oh, we can probably reallocate them. Oh, that's a little bit cheeky, because technically we have air supremacy over our airfields and bases in Syria. However, in the Levant we don't. So we'll quickly move that. Nice, that should help things out. However, we are going to be coming up firmly against their Iron Dome. So that's something we have to watch out for. So let's set up a naval invasion. So some of the territory hasn't been called in. Namely the Palestinian one, so we can't land there in Gaza. So we're going to have to mostly land in northern Egypt. And we'll try and get our navy to run some convoy escorts. Because I don't think pushing any more units to that narrow one-tile strip there just south of Damascus is the play. Unfortunately, we've been engaged by one, but we have managed to secure the port of Sad. Okay. So let's try and draw some front lines. And we'll try and head this one to their capital. So once you land, just rapidly go, 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 go. god, we got some naval engagements. They took out a Turkish convoy. Oh jeez! We managed to shoot down 100 Egyptian fighter jets. Oh wow. But they did take out some of our submarines and frigates, our ships, which is annoying. Okay. So, we've landed in the heart of the Nile. Oh my god, we're really bringing down a lot of their planes. Oh my god, my navy's getting an absolute battering though. Once we've landed, we kind of don't need them there, and we are chugging away at our fuel. We have 0 fuel at the moment. Shit. Let's stop importing these, because we need the spare military factories. We're going to have to get a bunch of oil from the Saudis, I think. Maybe even the Ruskies as well. Yeah, they might cancel the Lend-Lease if we don't have the spare civilian factories, but that's okay. And let's just quickly have a break with our Air Force. Just running their drills. Because we just need our fuel to bounce back up. Dude. Air supremacy, air support, and managing your fuel consumption is basically make or break for this game. So, we'll make sure we prioritize the refueling zones on our army rather than the Air Force. But we just need to essentially pivot in between. Because now we're out again. Jeez. Because it's such a fine line. Because we need to fuel our tanks and motorized infantry. But we need the Air Force to help us out as well. Oh, nice. We've joined the EU, which is perfect. Because we've currently left NATO. We can go back sort of to the Western sphere of influence once we've rebuilt the Ottoman Empire. Nice. We've got a bit of a nice staging ground here. And we've divided the country into a nice chunk. Like whatever that sort of peninsula is in Egypt. I can't remember what it's called. Like this territory here. So, we'll send a front line up here and we'll try and rally up. Nice. But this is kind of crazy. The Bulgarian incursion was so much quicker and easier than this Egypt and Israeli alliance. A little bit ironic. A little bit weird that they puppeted them, but I guess they saw the power shift occurring in and around northern Anatolia. They were eventually going to be on the list, but I was actually going to prioritize taking Balkan territory more than anything. But getting Egypt firmly under our control will be a really nice addition to what was the Ottoman Empire. Because it's interesting, because like the Ottoman Empire at its height, that's what we want to try and annex and take and paint the map ourselves. But also, they did have a lot of puppets, vassals, subjects as well, directly influenced by them. Like, I think most of North Africa was either a vassal state or paid some sort of homage to the Ottomans. I don't know if we're going to go that far into Tunisia, essentially. Okay, we've lost 45k, which is a bit. Oh, jeez. That's because we're just really trying to push past, especially with our fuel now. We've managed to save up 700k worth of fuel. I guess barrels, I don't know. And we can get the Air Force running again, which is probably what we're going to need. Dude. That will give us a couple days, weeks and months to help things out. That actually could change the tide to get us into a better position. We've managed to secure Cairo and a large chunk of Egypt. We've got the Suez as well, so we dominate trade through there. And now with instantly, look at this, we've got air supremacy over the top. We are really chipping away at the Egyptian forces there. Dude, we are super pushing them back. Nice. We're pushing them back into the desert from whence they came. We've got air supremacy over the top. Perfect. We are struggling to push into Israel, though. I imagine because they're probably fortified a lot of it. And it's quite narrow street and hectic fighting if it was to actually occur. Nice. Hey, Egypt has capitulated. Perfect. Dude. This is a crazy war. We're going to annex everything with the Treaty of Alexandria. And we'll reallocate every single available Turkish force to get back on the border here. And now we should be out of a nice, cohesive push from multiple vectors of attack into Jerusalem. And also we probably should be able to not overly rely on the Air Force with a little bit. Oh, Georgia joined CSTO. Interesting. That's a massive change of events because we have guaranteed them. So if CSTO ever gets attacked, particularly Georgia, that's something we have to keep an eye on. Still mostly all in our favor if we were to attack. So I think we initiate it. There we go. Accidentally misclicked there, but now I've fixed it. Right. Let's go with that. I wish you could queue up the research a bit, because it's always a little bit jarring going back and forth, trying to micro and focus on a war, taking tiles here and there, and then boop. Yeah. Research needs to be complete. I wish you could nearly chain it, be like, I want to go down this is this, and when it's complete you go this is this. You could like allocate it. That'd be cool. Okay, so still about 10% of our fuel left. We need air supremacy to push in and help out. We maybe could get the Navy to help on now, but they don't have any coastal territory. I wouldn't imagine they have much of a large Navy. Anyway, let's try and end our economic woes here. We're about to surround a bunch of them before we can push towards the capital. Nice. And we'll try and push to Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, I guess. And make sure you move from the north as well. Dude, how are they not capitulated? Like half their country's fallen. They are still holding on so resiliently. Now January of 2006, and we're still continuing to get more Lend-Lease as well. Balloon to 45k, ours is about 50k, which isn't crazy because we've got 1 million manpower. That's really all you need. Alright, just changing. So, oh, they capitulated finally. Dude, that took way too fucking long. Yeah, I was just sort of changing the public order management. Nice. Israel has capitulated. Dude, they were just holding me for so long there. Oh my god, Mexico has joined the United States? What the fuck does that mean? The Mexican States of America? What in the fuck? Hang on. But anyway, here's all the territory we control. As Turkey, the Ottoman Empire is taking a very familiar shape. Oh, they've gone with the Monroe Doctrine. Like literally incorporating it within an alliance. Oh no, has NATO been dissolved? Oh shit. I wonder if that's my doing, because I kind of didn't let them take Iraq. No, so NATO's a thing still. So if we were to attack Greece, it would still bring in NATO. Damn, that sucks. Italy split again. They quite tend to divide between north and south, which is hilarious. Alright. Oh, they joined CSTO. Seriously? Huh. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah. I want to go after Greece, but I don't know if we're going to be able to this series for quite some time. We can stop importing all that Saudi fuel, because we're not actively at war. We can go back to importing these resources that we're low in. Dude, we do not have a very high access to resources in and around this territory. Like, yeah, we've got a bunch of fuel and some valuable metals here and there, but others we are really quite short on. We also need to repair a bunch of this territory that we took. But now that we've got a lot more territory under our control, nearly 50 factories, we might look to actually construct some proper military as well. Civilian, fuel. And then we'll make plans and preparations. Actually, no, we don't want to build that in Lebanon because we're not going to be able to control it. So let's get a bunch of military factories in. Because now we're at a stage where we definitely need some. Because it is lacking quite a bit. Nice. Well, maybe we're better off to go after Iraq or Jordan. So we've got Yugoslavia, North Macedonia, Bosnia. There's a bunch of countries up here, even Romania to be fair, that we all want to try and go into. So let's start a justification for Yugoslavia, and I think we'll do one down here in Iraq as well. I think we'll push from 2 points to attack. I do want to try and prioritize Balkan territory, because at this time period now, it's definitely the more lucrative and more valuable. So let's send 2 army groups up. And then, once we take Yugoslavia, we shall try and retake all of Iraq. Because it doesn't seem like the US want to take it. They've actually withdrawn to their alliance. Dude, our debt has really risen a bit. Oh, actually, we're going to be able to get some forces from Lebanon, which we can request. Nice. Mostly with Kalashnikovs. French anti-tank. Interesting. So we'll try and bring them on in to help out. Nice, we definitely need them. But things are looking good for the Ottomans. It's taken a little bit. Nice. The justification for Yugoslavia is complete. And we can march on in. It's taken a little while before we could actively start conquering countries. 6 years or so. But now we are rebuilding, reforming, reconstructing, reinvigorating the Ottoman Empire, I suppose. Nice. Okay, so let's push into Yugoslavia. We'll call in Lebanon for the shits and gigs. And I'm curious to see how much resistance they're going to put on up as we push into the Western Balkans. Our air force is operating over the top efficiently, so the quicker we can bring these factions directly under our control, the better, because then they won't be into NATO or CSTO's sphere of influence. We want to try and get as much of the former Ottoman territory under our control as we can. But so far, we're making some really nice progression. Thankfully, this war probably isn't going to go for too long, as we've divided the country in 2. As we push for Belgrade. The south is secure. And we still haven't run out of fuel, so we didn't need to import any. 27k losses. The Turkish militia is now firmly battle hardened, and we've got a bunch of MiGs back again. Nice! So we can continue to take more states in the Balkans. Perfect. My god, we're bordering up near Hungary, which is kind of crazy. And another couple thousand equipment as well. Perfect. Now we've got the ball firmly rolling. Yeah. A little bit of advice. It does take you a little while to build up and sort of convert to nationalism if you're playing as Turkey, particularly on the sub-mod. There are some benefits you get, some really cool role-playing aspects, but it is a lot harder. They really do role-play with the economical struggles with Turkey, particularly in the 2000s. It's taken us to 2006 to sort of pull away from our poor economic woes. Okay, so that's going to be complete soon. So let's quickly move down. Hang on. That shouldn't be there. Alright, let's make this a bit better. There we go. And we'll move down to finally incorporate the entirety of Iraq under our control. Dude, our debt has ballooned to 400 billion. Shit. It was so good for quite some time. But now it's gone to absolute shit again. And we'll move the Air Force down here as well. Dude, what a hell of an episode. Territorial-wise and gain, this is definitely the most amount of square kilometers we've conquered. But yeah, would you believe it? The States has withdrawn to going with the Monroe Alliance, which I believe is only a North and South American alliance. Like, only member states in those regions can join, a matter of fact. Same with CSTO, like only former Soviet nations can join. We're building more office sectors where we can because our debt problem, like I mentioned. I've decided to move the military factory construction down a bit, and I guess we go with peace propaganda because we're going to get to a point where we want to reopen the elections again to then try and move back into NATO. But unfortunately, on that note, guys, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to leave it on a cliffhanger for the second invasion of Iraq. We've done a bunch here today. We've taken Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Israel, and Egypt, bringing it all under Turkey / now Ottoman Empire control. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for episode 5 coming out tomorrow, where we continue to gain more Balkan territory under our control and try and take some more Middle Eastern territory. It's October 2006, and as you can see on the map, we've painted a lot of the map a nice, good old Turkish / Ottoman red. Look at that. Egypt, most of the Levant. We're pushing into the Balkans as well. We do have a little bit of a debt growing at the moment, but we've managed to sort of charge and push on through those financial woes we had in the early 2000s. But we're going to kick things off with another war in Iraq, and then maybe push further into the Balkans as well, as we bail out the Bosnians. The justification for the second war in Iraq is complete, and the US has sort of had an interesting playthrough in this series. They've made the decision to completely withdraw from NATO. Man, I don't even know who the leader of the North Atlantic Alliance is now. Like, I imagine it's France, Germany. You'd imagine Macron would take the reins on that sort of thing. With sort of opposition, potentially, of Olaf Scholz. But yeah, I would. Yeah, if I had to, who would? Let me know in the comments. If it couldn't be the US, who would lead NATO? Like, who would be the main man, the head honcho, the right hand of the alliance? Who knows? But anyway, we're absolutely charging on through here, pushing further into Fallujah. And we're going to bring all of it under our direct control. We've already managed to annex the top half of the country. We have a whopping 2.5 million manpower. Our fuel is on point. And our air force is incredibly strong as well. But yeah, they've made the decision to form the Monroe Alliance, which is a Monroe Doctrine-centric alliance, purely focusing on the North and South American continents. And I believe we can't even join it if we wanted to. Maybe that happened because we kind of stuffed them around in Operation Freedom, potentially. I don't know. But yeah, we're currently nationalistic. The Turkish army is firmly in control. And we've left NATO. NATO's still a thing, but for some reason it bugged. I don't know why. But the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans have joined in on the alliance, which is super interesting. So, I suppose we go into Jordan now. And we'll set things up for another Middle Eastern invasion. And then I think we're pretty much done. We might look to go into North Macedonia, Albania, Romania, but we'll just have to see how we go. We might... how long is it going to take? It's not too long. We just don't have the political power. So maybe we go into North Macedonia. We'll see how we go. A lot of guaranteeing back and forth. Romania seems alone, so we might not be able to go into them. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to go after Hungary or Greece, because they're firmly in that NATO alliance, which sucks. 2007 now. And we can lift the ban on the political parties. So this will allow us, going down this, allowing the Turkish elections, we can switch back to the main focus tree, which is super cool. Man, I highly recommend the Turkish sub mod. If you haven't already played it. It's a lot of fun. Actually makes it kind of difficult here and there. Because we eventually want to try and flip back to Western. We'll try and bring in Erdogan, and we want all that tech tree. Because we eventually want to rejoin NATO for security. Or maybe we should form our own... what would we call it? Just sort of like... Asia Minor Alliance? I don't know, that sounds crap. I can't think of one off the top of my head. What would be a really cool name for an alliance? Alright, we can switch our economy focus. And now that we're making a couple billion... Nice. So, we've nearly completed the focus tree. So changes national focus tree to democratic Turkey focus. Yeah, because we've completely finished this national focus one. Yeah, so it nearly kind of incentivizes you to, hey, if you do want to go nationalistic, there's always a way to go back to Western outlook if you want. So I guess we'll just go with construction engineering for now. And once I'm happy with my territory, so we can go back to Western outlook, bring back in democracy in Turkey, we'll just do that. The justification for Jordan has been completed, but the states are still influencing the country, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, let's see how this goes. So we're pushing in from our Egyptian territory, and then we're going to be able to get all of the Levant firmly under our control. Let's call in Lebanon as well. And we're pushing from all sides. Nice. Dude, we're chugging away at our fuel as well. But thankfully, our Turkish battle battalions are incredibly hardened. They're incredibly well skilled. And they are now just dominating the battlefield in the Middle East. Nice. Brazil, Ecuador, Azerbaijan wants to send logistics, and they've capitulated. Nice. Like, the majority of our equipment, logistics, and fighter jets are actually coming purely from our conquering our neighbours, which is hilarious. We've only just now got 60 factories under our control. Yeah. Thankfully, you start off with a huge army as Turkey, because the population and the constructing and recruitment can be a little bit iffy. Okay, so we're done, basically, with the Middle East. I don't think there's really anyone we can take that was sort of in former Ottoman territory. Look, there's some smaller nations here and there, but it just takes so long to justify against them. Like, we don't need to take, like, Kuwait or some shit. We can leave them. They're fine. We're better off now focusing on the more prosperous and fruitful territory in the Balkans. This is where we should be focusing now, as we move our air force to Romania. We actually can request a bunch more forces from Lebanon. I think I'm going to do that, to be honest. And we'll try and bring them up now. This is going to be a little bit difficult, as we've got the Danube that splits Bulgaria and Romania, as we want to push into the ancient Roman province of Dacia. Now, I think we'll annex the entire country. Like, I don't think we could play it realistically and actually puppet Wallachia like the Ottomans did. Okay, so the war annexation is complete, and we'll push against the Romanians. Now, they should have a bunch of oil up here as well. So we're probably going to struggle from the southeastern piece of territory. We might do a lot better towards the west. And we'll reallocate my navy as well to try and dominate the Black Sea, because they might get some convoys sneaking in. But the Turks are now firmly at war with the Romanians, and they probably weren't expecting it as well. Dude, there's another bit of tile here. Let's push them. Nice. The quicker we can get over the river we can, the better. We're attacking in August. which is not the best time, weather-wise. Okay, so we've managed to eliminate 5k already, only losing 33 Turks. But already, we seem to be gobbling up the country. Oh my god, nice. Once again, bringing more former Ottoman imperial possessions firmly under our control. Yeah, so most of the west has fallen. We're struggling in the east here. I think it's just due to the river. You would have to get a lot of amphibious landing craft to get over there. We might need to build bridges as well. Holding on those bridge choke points is a pain. Yeah, and here we go. They're probably about to fall any moment now. Nice. And that's it. Wallachia, Transylvania is now under our control. Yeah, so we can't actually... we can't. Yeah, you can't puppet Wallachia or Transylvania. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Doesn't matter. We're still continuing on painting the map for Turkey. So, now we border with Hungary. Can't go after them. Can't go really any far north. We might be able to go against Moldova if we want. I feel like they were a puppet. Or a vassal state or whatever under the Ottomans at one point. Because look, it's I'm sort of going after the height of the Ottoman Empire, because it's had various points in history where it's been large and had territory here and there. And we'll make sure we can manage these territories without rebellion and really without too much negative buffs, I suppose. Okay, so we need to bring in more Balkan territory. So I think we justify against North Macedonia. So if we attack Albania, Croatia is guaranteeing their independence. If we attack... I think we're better off going after Bosnia-Herzegovina, because then Croatia might come in. Interesting that a lot of these Balkan countries back and forth are actually guaranteeing each other. We might be able to push into Slovenia, but we'll see how we go, because they did actually sort of have those provinces there. The only problem is if any of these guys join NATO or essentially CSTO. So I think we'll start off with the justification against Bosnia-Herzegovina and North Macedonia, and let's hope some other countries can guarantee them potentially. Hopefully some more can, so we can move on in. So let's set up some front lines. Now thankfully the Balkans is very divided, and we should be able to carve them up. Divide and conquer. A referendum for the people. Okay. Because we're nearly getting to the point where we can switch back if we want. It's just something we can keep an eye on. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, they got him. Nice. 2008 now. Okay, so the justifications for both Bosnia and North Macedonia are complete. However, there's a bunch of supporting their independence. So, shit is about to get real in the Balkans here. So, we might need to, once things kick off, move that front... Oh, we can't. We have to... Well, they might not call them in, potentially. So maybe I just should keep it there on North Macedonia. And we're going to be able to attack both of them. Okay, so let's start things off with the war against North Macedonia, I think. And we'll follow that by the war against Bosnia. And we'll call everyone in. And let's go. Oh, so they've been called in. Croatia and Albania. Oh, shit. Well, the quicker we can get rid of North Macedonia, the better. Oh, the Albanians are really trying to push us here. Oh, God. Shit. Nothing like a foreign invader to rally the Balkans and then them to forget their fucking differences. Oh shit. So hang on. Let's form something like this. That's a bit better. Oh no, shit. That's a bit better. I fucking misclicked. Hang on. Oh shit, the Croatians are pushing in the north. Into Romania now. Hang on. Oh fuck. I didn't expect for so many of them to be at war with me. Shit. We're currently fighting 4 nations at the moment. Oh my god. The battle for the Balkans is where it truly kicked off. Dude, the bloody Croatians are doing really well in the north there. Oh shit. As North Macedonia is about to fall any moment. We need air support. So let's try and get our boys running. Because we've got the fuel to do it. We've definitely got the manpower, which is fantastic. Because we've cored so many of that Middle Eastern territory. Navy-wise, where is it? Oh, it's still in Istanbul. It was still operating in the Black Sea. You need to get back to the Adriatic. You might be able to do some convoy raiding. Last thing we want is NATO or the European Union to support the Croatians here. So Albania and North Macedonia are more close to capitulating. And once we've freed them up here, we should be able to push north to help on out. We still managed to keep Turkish aerial supremacy. Nice. So, oh dude, Albania capitulated before North Macedonia. They're not going to forget that. Hilarious. The Ruskies want to invest more, that's fine. And, oh, so now we're started making a good push against the Croatian coastal territory, which is interesting. While we're struggling to take the Bosnia and Herzegovinian core territory. North Macedonia has now fallen, and we'll bring it directly under our control. And we'll go up here. Once everyone's there. Move the Air Force slightly. Oh, no, we're good. It's all in the one province. We don't need to move it. Dude, the Croatians actually pushed us there a little bit. We lost 1k Turks. They've had 10k combined losses. And the Turkish tanks are really gobbling up that beautiful, picturesque Croatian coastal territory. Dude, the bloody Bosnians are hard as absolute nails. Holy shit. The Croatians are probably going to fall before they do. Holy fuck. As we push towards Zagreb as now as well. Crazy war that's kicked on off. And then we'll have all of the Balkans except for Greece under our control. Nice. Let's bring in Bosnia. Herzegovina. And then lastly the Croats. The Croatians. Methinks. Come on. They're fighting to the absolute bitter end. They haven't capitulated yet. We're fighting in and around the streets of Zagreb. And we've crushed them. Nice. Is that it? Yep, it sure is. The Treaty of Zagreb. Completed. Hell yeah. And that's probably all we can take in the Balkans. Slovenia, Hungary, Greece. Firmly supported by NATO. Like, how are we going to do this? There mustn't be much more, because that's like pretty much the height of the Ottoman Empire. Because the thing is, right, if we attack Greece or Hungary, we're going to be directly involved with NATO, and I just don't know if we can win. Like, maybe it's just a little bit unlucky. Like, we can't get rid of the Greeks, our arch rivals, just simply because they thought well and allied up with NATO. Same with Hungary. Like, we just can't go there. Because then we have to capitulate France and Germany, which would be kind of insane. Although we've got a decent pop and our economy's not too bad, our military and civilian infrastructure, I just don't know if we can take it. I think we're better off to call it at that, and we'll bring back Western Democratic and try and rejoin NATO. So the election campaign is reheating up. We're just on the border just in case. Like, if they could somehow leave, I just don't know. Like, I can't cause a coup, can I? Anyway, we're back on this focus tree, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, there's nothing in here that can essentially get us to war with Greece without NATO coming in. I don't think so. Anyway, I think we flip back and bring in the DSP or some Western outlook country, and we'll try and rejoin NATO. But we're back on this focus tree, which is kind of interesting. And we actually can redo some of it as well. So it's kind of cool that if you do want to go nationalistic like we did in this series, bring in the Turkish army, you can always pivot and go on back. So we'll try and bring in a new Turkish government. But like, there are some small little countries in and around the Middle East that we can take. Like, even with Cyprus as well. If we were to push into Cyprus, it'd probably kick off a war with the Brits or some shit. But the Western outlook is growing. The DSP is still quite strong. But yeah, we can redo the legacy of the Turkish Republic again if we want. France and the Ruskies are still building some stuff. Oh, we could form a new government here. Nice. So the election's setting up. So we've got 26 days. So hang on. So, yeah, I love how this gives you this. So we can give up and allow the CHP to have a go. And I guess if they can't form it, we'll get them to form a coalition. So we'll give up. So now we're back on the Western outlook. And we'll get them to form a coalition with the other two parties. So we'll welcome them aboard. And it looks like Western outlook Democratic Turkey is back in a form of a coalition. And nothing's been changed here yet, but it could very well do. So the army has stepped down after fulfilling its objective of securing Turkey's future. Taking former Ottoman territory. And we can try and become an aspiring NATO country now that we have the political power. So it's going to take a little while before we can try and apply for full NATO membership. Oh, shit. Cause less than 5% world tension. Oh, we might be fucked then. The military is one of the factions. I think that was before we were democratic, the military, because I never changed this. So if we were to change one of these internal factions, costs 1,800. Shit. That kind of sucks. Because I never changed this. That was beforehand. But the problem is the world tension. Like, we might be stuffed because of that. Yeah, so hang on. Cause less than 5%. So how much did we cause? Oh, shit. Fuck, we caused 25. Oh, no. So, after my best intentions and effort, we can't actually rejoin NATO that we left. Oh, shit. Oh, come on. That's a little bit sucky. We can't join the Swiss and Austrian / Liechtenstein alliance. We can't join the Monroe, can we? No, because I mentioned before, it's because we're not in North or South America, and CSTO is doing their thing. Lebanon, can we actually form a faction with you? No, because you need to complete more of the national focus tree. I think that's what I had to do with the Australian campaign. I had to finish the focus tree to then get the national spirit to do so. Well, I tried, but democracy, Western values is back in Turkey. And we can't even justify a war against the Greeks now that we've flipped back if we wanted to. We can kick off some border conflicts if we want. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed episode 5 of the Millennium Dawn Turkish series. And look, you know what? I'm going to take a break for this campaign. I'm going to put a pin in it. I think we've gone as far as we can with the Ottoman Empire. And unfortunately, we're going to have to leave those pesky Greeks. Because, yeah, they're stuck in NATO. I just don't think we've got the capability to capitulate. Like, NATO, man. Like, we just simply don't have it. It sucks, but unless we can somehow go to war with Greece without NATO getting involved, we can't completely form the Ottoman Empire in the Millennium Dawn. Hey, we tried our best. We basically got every piece of territory except for a couple small minor states. But the major big faction that we couldn't get was Greece, followed by Hungary. But I think we've done really good. It's taken a while. 2008, I think we've done well with Turkey. We've definitely made it the dominant power in the Middle East. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see episode 6. I never delete my saves for series, but I feel like the Turkish story can come to a sort of natural conclusion here. The US wasn't successful in Iraq. They decided to leave NATO. They threw their toys at the pram and decided to go internally and focus on the north and south. NATO is a lot weakened, and CSTO is actually growing, while the Turks are the strongest power sort of in and around the Mediterranean. But stay tuned for another Millennium Dawn series coming out soon, and maybe some more Hearts of Iron content just generally. I haven't done a Kaiserreich series in quite a while, but maybe we need to go and play some other mods. Feel free to let me know in the comments your suggestions. But yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the feedback on the brand new YouTube channel. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much. But yeah, feedback and suggestions, and as always, constructive criticism is welcome in the comment section below. My name has been Simsy. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.